Happy Tuesday, beautiful people. Hold on one second. All right, y'all. Let us go. All right, family. It is Tuesday, June the 13th, 2023, day 55 of year 5 of reading through books, laws, and prophets, and of the 5-year consecutive day count. It is day 1434. Today, we're going to pick back up right in the middle of the chapter of the Glory of Kings. Actually, what chapter was this? Chapter 3. And we paused. Where did we pause? Hold on, let me see. I think I'll just go back to verse 200, right before Hanukkah came. All right, y'all. So for those of you that were here yesterday, we had to cut out super early, family emergency, right? But everything is okay. Everything is okay for the most part. So just in case you were wondering, but yeah, so I'll leave it at that. But anyway, Avia, shalom, sis, greetings. Tabitha, shalom, shalom. Yes, she was talking to Tabitha. Greetings, my dear sister. Today I'm celebrating my born day, so it is a great day. Happy birthday, Avia. Everybody tell Avia happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Tikva, shalom, sis. Nazarene, sing. Eternal learner, peace and blessings. Toot of Goat, hey sis. Zachary Yahoo, shalom, shalom. Facebook user, trying to guess who that is. That might be Misha. It might be Misha, might not be. I don't know. Jamia, hey girl, hey. Just me, blessings. Dawn, what's good, sis? Elijah, peace and blessings. Creator Gang TV, shalom. You know what? That might be Misha. I don't know. Uncle JB, shalom, shalom. Brandon Carter, shalom. Joanne, hey sis, how you doing? Drayson, righteous, shalom. And everybody else here hanging out in the background. Happy Tuesday to you. Love you too, sis. All right, y'all. So let's get right into this. Cousin, hey cousin. Nikki, hey girl, hey Facebook user. I think that's the only Facebook user. Somebody from the group. I'm assuming I got a couple cousins in there, but I'm assuming this is Nikki. Let's say, hey cousin. Well, hey cousin. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get started. So on page 318, hold on one second. Page 318, y'all, verse 200. Okay. All right.
Siri here. Let me know if I can help.
No, Siri, not right now. Thank you. Did I say anything with an S? Sounded like I said her name. She's so nosy. Okay. It's Tiffany. Tiffany, hey, cousin. Listen, because you're looking at us from the private group, it's a private group. So anybody that attends a live from the private group, they'll keep your identity private as well. So that's why. Dreadful Cosmine, shalom, fam. All right, y'all. Okay. Verse 200. That night, Samson desired not to share the bed of Delilah. Instead, he walked in the forest. He felt great remorse for having abandoned the way. So remember, we just found out that, wait, hold on. Yeah, we just found out back in the previous verses, specifically verse 198, Not only was Delilah still a flesh eater and the son that she bore to Samson, she began to feed him flesh. Uh, Even when Samson said, "I don't want my child eating flesh" or whatever, then of course the baby came to him, baby 4 years old, right? I mean, I get it. They can talk, they can speak for themselves. Like, "Daddy, I like eating meat. I want it," you know. So at that point, Samson said, "You know what? I'm not gonna force my religion on you. So I'm gonna be the one that completely abstains from meat, right?" But unbeknownst to him, from the time he began to fall in love with her and share his bed, would share the bed with Delilah and let this woman cook for him, she had been hiding tiny, it says, listen, verse 197. Matter of fact, 195. Samson relented, saying, "I will not force my child to abstain from meat, but I will eat no flesh. I have fallen from the way, but at least I have eaten no flesh." Verse 198. Lo, what he did not know was that from the beginning, Delilah had hidden tiny bits of meat and animal blood in the food that she prepared for Samson. So let's jump back over here. I'll just start back at 200. That night, Samson desired not to share the bed of Delilah. Instead, he walked in the forest. He felt great remorse for having abandoned the way. He desired repentance. After many hours of prayer, he walked home but slept outside on a pile of hay. In the morning, Delilah told him, "I can see that I've made you sad, but tonight I'll make it up to you. For behold, it is the anniversary of our wedding. And I shall take you to meet the high priest of my religion. For lo, you think I have no religion, but in truth, I practice a secret religion. And I make you this promise. If you attend this ritual tonight with me, when the sun rises, if you ask me to quit my religion and become Nazarene, I will do so. You have my word." Samson was amazed by her promise and readily agreed to attend the ritual. Delilah said, "Shamhuth and I will go early." Remember, Shamhuth is the sun. "Shamhuth and I will go early, for only they who have been initiated into this religion may attend the first portion of the ritual, but you may attend the second portion." Samson asked, "How then can Shamhuth attend the first portion?" Delilah replied, "Without your knowledge, I have previously taken him there for initiation. But do not be angry, for I will hold to my promise. If at the rising of the sun you ask me to abandon my religion and become Nazarene, I will do so. And if I do so, so will Shamhuth." She then told Samson the location of the ritual and the time she should arrive. And the time he should arrive. Delilah left with Shamhuth to attend the early portion of the ritual. Samson was to wait 4 hours, then began his journey to the ritual. But a few minutes after Delilah departed, there was a knock on the door. Samson opened the door to find a woman looking deeply into his eyes. She was dressed in the manner of a Nazarene with a robe of hemp. She looked about 35 years of age, but there was something timeless about her eyes, as though she were wiser than her years. The woman was Hanukkah, the queen of the guardians of the scrolls of the Zerah Star, who is also queen of the Ark of the Covenant and queen of seven. Samson asked, "Who are you?" Hanukkah answered, "That is a perfect question for you to ask yourself. I am called Sheba, the midwife. Now answer your own question. Who are you?" Samson smiled at the woman's boldness. He answered, "I am Samson, once a true Nazarene like you, now fallen into the ways of the world." Sheba smiled at his honesty. She replied, "A fallen man may again stand." Samson said, "I have fallen deep, even to the depth of the ocean floor." Sheba said, "From the ocean floor, arise with a pearl on each finger." She asked, "And what are the pearls?" Samson asked, "And what are the pearls, wise lady?" Sheba answered, "Lessons learned." The question is, have you, Samson the Nazarene, learned the lesson of your fall? Samson answered, "I let myself be ensnared by the beauty of a woman." Sheba replied, "Beautiful women do not ensnare men. Men ensnare themselves." Samson laughed and said, "You are right, wise one. I have indeed ensnared myself. But now I wish to step out of the snare. Is it too late?" Sheba answered, "It is never too late to repent." And I received that saying from the lips of the lady long ago in another world when I, like you, had fallen. I stood up then as you can stand up now. Samson declared, I choose to stand. I will step out of the snare of my own making. Sheba took Samson to a river and rebaptized him, saying, You are born again. Your sins are forgiven. Now listen, for time is short. Though you stepped into a snare by making unwise choices, this snare was set by others. For behold, Mo Cash is a master trap setter, and Nazarenes are his favorite prey. So remember, at first I was calling him Mo Quish because I didn't know how to pronounce his name, but we found out in a footnote that you pronounce his name Mo Cash, right? He's a businessman. He's a shrewd businessman, and he hates Nazarenes, right? But he fools Samson, right? And he was, hold on. Did we already read that part? I know we read it yesterday, but I don't know if I went back too far. But anyway, he was setting Samson up from the very beginning. I'm gonna just keep reading. Verse 255, page 319. For behold, Mokash is a master trap setter, and Nazarenes are his favorite prey. Samson said, Mokash was like me. Now we did. Okay, I'm about to read it now. Okay. Mokash was like me, a fallen Nazarene lion. Sheba replied, he was never a Nazarene lion. Rather, he is a hunter of Nazarene lions. Samson said, but he told me not only had he been a Nazarene lion, but of the same order as myself. Sheba said, Mokash is not only a master trap setter, he is a master liar. Lo, many years ago, he attempted to infiltrate your order, but he was found to be an agent of the order of Lucifer and did not gain admittance. For that religion is our ancient nemesis and serves Satan. Though few in numbers, they meet in secret and plot evil schemes. Yea, they hope to secretly influence the world that they may bring to pass the conditions where they may again rule. Their public work is performed by front organizations of various names, and many do their bidding, never knowing who they serve. That's still true today. Their public work is performed by front organizations of various names, and many do their bidding, never knowing who they serve. Samson was shocked. He said, but lo, if they desired to harm me, why not just kill me? Certainly they had ample opportunity. And what of Delilah? Sheba replied with serious voice, know this, Samson, there are far worse things than physical death. And there are far worse things than death that an enemy might plan for a Nazarene. Lo, you are not only a Nazarene lion, you are the son of the Yair. Remember, the Yair is the high priest. Lo, you are not only a Nazarene lion, you are the son of the Yair, and you are of the royal bloodline of Abraham and Sarah. To kill you is little sport for the Luciferians. You will just have been given another body by the Lord and Lady. But to convert you to their way, now that is great sport indeed. Ooh. Let me think about some things. But to convert you to their way, now that is great sport indeed. Not only do they enjoy that sort of sport, they feed from it. For behold, they are a nasty sort of parasite. Every time you stumble, they feed. Every time you feel pain or cause pain, they feed. Every step into darkness you take, they feed. Hold on, I gotta be highlighting this, y'all. I'm gonna read that again. I'm gonna just go back up. Verse 275. To kill you is little sport for the Luciferians. You will just be given another body by the Lord and Lady. But to convert you to their way, now that is great sport indeed. Not only do they enjoy that sort of sport, they feed from it. For behold, they are a nasty sort of parasite. Every time you stumble, they feed. Every time you feel pain or cause pain, they feed. Every step in darkness you take, they feed. Any human being is to them a potential meal, but Nazarenes are a potential feast. And you, with your lineage, are a potential feast of feasts. Oof. And you with your lineage are a potential feast of feasts. Yea, the thought of turning you to their way is enough to make these parasites salivate. But they need not to convert you to great darkness to have victory. Behold, if they but help you stumble enough that you forget your mission and become but an average human being, they win. For in doing so, they prevent you from performing the mission you were given before birth. I read that again. Behold, if they but help you stumble, enough that you forget your mission and become but an average human being, they win. For in doing so, they prevent you from performing the mission you were given before birth. Worse yet, if they cause you to fall into a deep enough sleep, you might tumble down the ladder of consciousness and never awaken. Wherefore, to kill your body is but a small prize, but to help you tumble into denser realms of forgetfulness and sleep, that is the prize of prizes for these parasites. Yo. Whew. Verse 290. But there is more. Yea, in regard to you, their plotting is thick with many layers. They hope that through your mating with Delilah, who is of their line, they will subvert the bloodline of Abraham and Sarah. Indeed, they hope to breed their own line of kings, mixing the subverted seed of Abraham with the surviving line of Sargon. Not that they care about the blood of Abraham. Hold on, y'all. Hey, son. Hey. Yeah. I don't think. Yeah. Okay. Uh, okay. I'm looking at the time. Okay. 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 I'll see you in a few. All right. Bye. I'm sorry. Early calls now, like, hold on, y'all. Okay. Verse 290. But there is more. Yea, in regard to you, their plotting is thick with many layers. They hope that through your mating with Delilah, who is of their line, they will subvert the bloodline of Abraham and Sarah. Indeed, they hope to breed their own line of kings, mixing the subverted seed of Abraham with the surviving line of Sarah. Not that they care about the blood of Abraham, but that they feed off the energy off the fall of that bloodline. Wow. Hold on. I got to highlight that. They feed off the energy of the fall of those in that bloodline. Listen, let me go back. Let me go back to 292. They hope that through your mating with Delilah, who is of their line, they will subvert the bloodline of Abraham and Sarah. Indeed, they hope to breed their own line of kings, mixing the subverted seed of Abraham with the surviving line of Sargon. Not that they care about the blood of Abraham, but that they feed off the energy of the fall of that bloodline. And if that bloodline were to be compromised by mixing with their seed, they find that a cause for great glee. Wherefore, for this purpose, they have created an order called the House of Zion. Zion. Wait, what? Okay. Wherefore, for this purpose, they have created an order called the House of Zion. And through that order, will lay claim to messianic kingship. And after Zion, it's reference number 5 at the bottom. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, because that's where my mind started going. Listen. Footnote 5 at the bottom says, this is not a reference to Israel or anything Judaic. Rather, it is a reference to a Luciferian affiliated secret society. Okay, all right, I'm gonna keep on reading. Verse 297. And though that claim will be fought, let me go back. Verse 296. Wherefore, for this purpose, they have created an order called the House of Zion, and through that order will lay claim to messianic kingship. And though that claim will be false, they will seduce many to serve their messianic pretender. For behold, in the last days, their puppet king will lay claim to the royal bloodline and will claim the title of Christ. But in truth, their king will be naught but an antichrist, a puppet of the hidden powers that pull his strings. And we all know from Owaspy who that is. That is Luamon. Clearly, if you read Owaspy, we clearly know that this is telling the truth. Listen. For behold, in the last days, their puppet king will lay claim to the royal bloodline and will claim the title of Christ. Matter of fact, it gets into detail telling you in Owaspy how they subverted the religion, taking the title of Christ. And now everybody who think they're worshiping true creator are actually worshiping, in fact, Luamon. Right? And it's you have to be very, very careful. That's why you can't be overly emotional when you really trying to pick apart what you have really been doing all your spiritual life, right? Like seriously. Otherwise, you're just gonna be pulled in and you're gonna be fighting. No, Jesus is alive, and like they just get you off in a whole bunch of moot points and things that don't really got nothing to do with the price of tea in China. Listen. For we're on page 320 in the Holy Megillah, page 320, verse let me just go back 294. Not that they care about the blood of Abraham, but that they feed off the energy of the fall of that bloodline. And if that bloodline were to be compromised by mixing with their seed, they find that a cause for great glee. Wherefore, for this purpose, they have created an order called the House of Zion, and through that order will lay claim to messianic kingship. And though that claim will be false, they will seduce many to serve their messianic pretender. For behold, in the last days, their puppet king will lay claim to the royal bloodline and will claim the title of Christ. But in truth, their king will be naught but an antichrist, a puppet of the hidden powers that pull his strings. But not only the house of Zion makes plans, so does the house of the Lord and Lady. And so the house of Zion and so the house of Zion may for a time gloat in that their plan to subvert the bloodline of Abraham is a seeming success. But behold, Abraham will have the last laugh. For from the very bloodline they believe subverted will come forth a king who will in his last days awaken. And when he awakens from his lifelong slumber, so will the fallen line of Noah be redeemed. Yea, the fallen line will come to an end, but not before redemption. And the aged lion who awakens in his own last days will inaugurate the beginning of the last days of this world. And he will do this by planting the true ark of the covenant in the desert of Cush. Samson was reeling from all that Sheba had revealed. He asked, what of the promise Delilah made this morning? That if I attend the ritual of her religion tonight, she will leave that religion and become a Nazarene if I but ask. Sheba sadly shook her head, saying, oh, Samson, know you not that you slept with a woman of beautiful body but dark soul? Highlight that. Y'all go ahead and highlight that. Some of the men. Matter of fact, some of the women, because, oh my God, let me not even start. Because this can be true in the opposite manner as well. People can be beautiful to you on the outside, but their souls can be dark. And a lot of time people are blinded by the beauty. Ooh. 310. Sheba sadly shook her head, saying, oh, Samson, know you not that you slept with a woman of beautiful body, but dark soul? When she made her When she made her promise to you, I listened from behind a tree. But before that, I listened to her plotting with Mokash and his henchmen. Her exact promise was that if at the rising of the sun you asked her to renounce her religion and become a Nazarene, she would do so. She made that promise knowing that she would not need to fulfill it. For behold, she expects that you will be dead before the rising of the sun. For lo, the purpose of this ritual you have been asked to attend is to slay you in sacrifice to Lucifer. For though their prize is greater if they subvert you rather than kill you, which has been their aim, Mokash last night overheard your prayer of repentance. He heard your words of rededication to the Nazarene way, and he fears that you will take your child Shamuth with you and return to your people. Because Shamhuth represents the mixing of the Abrahamic bloodline and the Luciferian bloodline of Sargon through Delilah, he is now a bigger prize than you. They plan to kill you tonight so that they can keep Shamhuth. Samson asked, but how can you have heard the plotting of Mokash with Delilah? Like, bro, how can you even ask that? She literally repeated word for word the words she told you. Look. Come on, Samson. Listen. They plan, verse 321. They plan to kill you tonight so they can keep Shamhu. Samson asked, but how can you have heard the plotting of Mokash with Delilah? Mokash, hold on. Wait, that's right. That's right. Yo, I forgot. There's a plot twist on this. We heard about it before because they told us in a footnote that this would be happening. Okay, I forgot. Remember, Mokash, her father, supposedly died, right? But apparently it was a fake death. Listen, okay. Right, okay. That's why he asked that question. All right, I completely forgot. All right. Verse 321. They plan to kill you tonight so they can keep Shamhu. Samson asked, but how can you have heard the plotting of Mokash with Delilah? Mokash died some time ago, wherefore I took over his business. Sheba answered, first, his back injury was faked in order to get you to compromise the Nazarene way. Then his death was faked for the same reason. By involving you in the meat trade, they were able to compromise your Nazarene oath. They knew that they only could achieve that by manipulating your compassionate nature. Oh, y'all, listen. I feel some kind of way this morning because some of this stuff rings true. Like even more so. Look, I ain't talking about me. I'm talking about another situation that we are made aware of. Okay. By involving you in the meat trade, they were able to compromise your Nazarene oath. They knew that you could only achieve that by manipulating your compassionate nature. They also manipulated you through lust. Delilah was chosen for that very purpose. Oh my God. Listen. Hold on, y'all. My mama here. Did she come in? She might be hanging out in the background. This is crazy. Shayla, hey cousin. Oh my God, a whole bunch of people came in. Audrey, hey girl, hey. Shayla, hey cousin. And everybody else here hanging out in the background. Hold on. I was just scrolling through. On go, Yazo, shalom, fam. My ex-husband was gorgeousness personified. Ooh. Hold on. I think she might just be hanging out in the background. Oh, you hear? Okay. You hear this? Relating to recent findings of ours. This whole what they saying, right? I'm about to look. I'm taking these breaks to keep myself together. But you hear this? Hold on. Let me go back. Okay. Verse 326. By involving you in the meat trade, they were able to compromise your Nazarene oath. They knew that they could only achieve that by manipulating your compassionate nature. They also manipulated you through lust. Delilah was chosen for that very purpose. But now we must hurry to arrive before they expect you. For in overhearing their plotting, I learned that one other is to be sacrificed tonight besides you. They hold captive a young Nazarene woman from Cush named Omna. They tried to break her in the manner they broke you. They have not been successful and so have decided to kill her. We must save her. Yes, okay. So by reading this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I promise you, you can't make this stuff up. I promise you, everything we encounter in our life, when we read in the morning, it like comes out. Like, this is crazy. Like, I'm certain at this point that this was a trap set for said person. Oh my God. Listen to this. Oh my gosh. Okay. They also manipulated you through lust. Delilah was chosen for that very purpose. But now we must hurry to arrive before they expect you. For in overhearing their plotting, I learned that one other is to be sacrificed tonight besides you. They hold captive a young Nazarene woman from Cush named Omna. They tried to break her in the same manner they broke you. They have not been successful and so have decided to kill her. We must save her. Sheba and Samson walked to the location of the ritual, but not by the route that Delilah had given Samson. Lo, they took another path that Sheba knew that they would not be seen. Okay, I read it right. Okay. Lo, they took another path that Sheba knew that they would not be seen. Sheba said, there are Nazarenes in Egypt who would help us, but we have not time to go to them. You were famed for your mastery of Zion. Have you maintained your practice? Samson replied, I have. Even when I gave up my morning and evening prayers, due to the shame I felt, I maintained my practice of Zion. Without that, I would have gone mad. Oh my goodness. Wow. I wish I could share with y'all, but I can't. Definitely not at this point, and probably not for a long while. But this is amazing. Even when I gave up my morning and evening prayers, due to the shame I felt, I maintained my practice of Zion. Without that, I would have gone mad. Sheba nodded her approval and said, this house will be heavily guarded. We must save the young woman Omna and take Shamhuth. It will not be easy. Samson smiled. I have trained all my life for this moment. I'm ready. Since the days of Judah, the first master of Zion, many Nazarene lions have fought brave battles against long odds. Yea, some masters of Zion have defeated 10 armed opponents, but with staff and body. But never since the time of Judah has a Nazarene lion defeated as many armed opponents as did Samson this night. It was the duty of Sheba to gather Omna and Shamhuth while Samson dealt with the guards and other armed members of the house of Zion. In doing so, Sheba herself used Zion to defeat a dozen armed opponents. But even Sheba was armed by the skill of Samson, for lo, he defeated 50 armed men. With the element of surprise, he defeated 20 men before the house of Zion knew they were under attack. Behold, swiftly he did move, that his opponents knew not whether they fought a man or phantom. Never did they get a full look at the whirling firestorm in their midst as Samson spun and darted from one room to the next, knocking out opponents before they could even begin to react. Yea, he ran halfway up the walls, then flipped over to run in the opposite direction, knocking out opponents with his staff all the while. When he and Sheba were done, the only opponents left standing were Mokash and Delilah. Neither of them challenged the Nazarene lions, and both were too shocked to speak. Sheba freed Omna from the slab of rock to which she was bound. Upon that rock, Omna would have been sacrificed to Lucifer had not Samson and Sheba intervened. Sheba swept Shamhuth up into her arms, and Delilah, finally gaining her wrist, tried to hug Samson, saying, "Oh, my husband, you have rescued me." Heifer, out. You better back up or you're going to catch the blunt end of this staff right in your mouth. for lying. I'm sorry, y'all. I feel that way towards some people sometimes. The Lord's still working on me. Pray for me, y'all. Listen. Sheba freed Omna from the slab of rock to which she was bound. Upon that rock, Omna would have been sacrificed to Lucifer had not Samson and Sheba intervened. Sheba swept Shamhuth up into her arms as Delilah, finally gaining her wrist, tried to hug Samson, saying, "Oh, my husband, you have rescued me." Samson turned from her embrace, and Delilah tried to stab him with a dagger. But Samson sensed her attack and rolled, and Delilah tumbled. Hold on. But Samson sensed her attack and rolled, and Delilah tumbled to the floor. Then Mokash threw a knife at Samson, but Samson deflected the knife with his staff. Mokash then put his head down like a bull and charged Samson. Samson stepped to the side, and Mokash ran head first into the stone wall, knocking himself unconscious. Delilah screamed, "You will not take my child." Poor Shamhuth, not understanding what was happening, began to cry hysterically. Then one of the armed guards who had been knocked unconscious by Sheba came to and shot an arrow at Samson. Samson moved and the arrow missed him, but struck Delilah in the heart. In spite of her evil deeds, Samson cradled her in his arms as she died. His tears fell upon her eyes, and just before passing, she understood. She whispered, "Forgive me." Samson said, "I forgive you." And she passed from this world. Satan lost his grip on her soul. Sheba said, "Let us leave before more guards awaken and must again be dealt with." Samson agreed, but insisted on carrying Delilah's body to be buried. Sheba carried Shamhuth, and Omna left with them. They all returned to Mount Carmel, where Elijah and Elisheba rejoiced in the return of their son. After some months, Omna and Samson were married. They had a son named Michael, delivered by Sheba, the midwife. And after, I said Michael, is Malchiel. After Malchiel's, reference number 6, 6 at the bottom says the Hebrew name Malchiel means Elohim is king. They had a son named Malchiel, delivered by Sheba, the midwife. Sheba lived for some time with Samson and Omna, then vanished into the forest. Though Malchiel, the kingly line of Abraham and Sarah, was preserved, through Malchiel, the kingly line of Abraham and Sarah was preserved in purity, and the line of Malchiel will continue in purity until the last days. And that is the end of that chapter. This was a really interesting story about Samson and Delilah. So I can see definitely how there are bits and pieces of this in the Bible, but they put a different twist on it. This makes a whole lot more sense. Right? They wanted us to believe that Samson had been defeated, right? I'm gonna kill more in my death than I did while I was alive. And he had his eyes gouged out. His eyes was already gouged out when he said that, chained between two pillars, according to the Bible story. And then he just pushed the pillars over, killed everybody in the Colosseum. I'm just like, man, this story, I like this story better. Chapter 4, the story of Sheba and David. And after we read this story, we're going to pause. We at 7:12. Yeah. After we read chapter 4, we're going to pause. Okay. Page 322. Though the kingly line of Abraham was preserved in purity through Malchiel, the line was soon to be split. For Samson's son through Delilah, Shamhuth fathered a son. You got to be kidding me. Fathered a son named David. Listen, okay, let me go back. Chapter 4, the story of Sheba and David. Verse 1. Though the kingly line of Abraham was preserved in purity through Malchiel, the line was soon to be split. For Samson's son through Delilah, Shamhuth fathered a son named David. And David began a kingly line. Oh my gosh. See, my mind is already running all over the place. Let me just keep reading, y'all. Let me keep reading. Let me keep reading. For Samson's son, through Delilah, Shamhuth fathered a son named David. And David began a kingly line through which descended from Abraham and David began a kingly line in which, though descended from Abraham and Sarah, was not Nazarene. And the story of this split in the line of Abraham now follows. On page 323. Verse 5. 28 years after the return of Samson, Elijah and Elisha were killed by Aaronites. At that time, Samson became Yair. Due to his prowess at Zion, the fame of Samson spread over much of the world, even amongst the nations that had no knowledge of the Nazarenes. Samson was a great leader, and through his son, Malchiel, the Nazarene line of Abraham and Sarah survived. But the first son of Samson, Shamhuth, represented Malchiel. I'm getting my words all mixed up. But the first son of Samson, Shamhuth, resented Malchiel and blamed Samson for the death of his mother, Delilah. Wherefore, when he was grown, Shamhuth moved to another land. Yea, Shamhuth took his wife, a woman named Chaga, and moved to the south. And after Chaga is reference number 1. One at the bottom says the Nazarene Hebrew word for Chaga means confusion. Yea, Shamhuth took his wife, a woman named Chaga, and moved to the south. This land was near the Philistines who warred with the Aaronites. But Shamhuth said, I have no quarrel with the Philistines. They will let me be. For 13 years, the Philistines did let him be, but then his luck ran out. The Philistines killed him and his wife and captured his son, a 14-year-old named David. Shamhuth had been trained in Zion by his father, Samson, and he had trained David. And soon after his capture, David used Zion to defeat several armed guards and escape. Behold, David's escape was witnessed by 3 Aaronite spies who hid in the brush outside the Philistine camp. They befriended David and took him to meet their king, a man named Saul. Oh yeah, this is that story. Listen, they brought Saul in. Yeah, this is the same. We talking about the same King David here. Oh my goodness. That's why I said, let me keep reading. Behold, David's escape was witnessed by 3 Aaronite spies who hid in the brush outside of the Philistine camp. They befriended David and took him to meet their king, a man named Saul. Word spread throughout the Aaronite camp that an unarmed boy had defeated several armed Philistines. David was instantly a hero, and Saul took a liking to him. The men in the camp held a fighting contest, and David won, defeating even the best of Saul's men. Though David's father, Shamhuth, had trained him in the art of Zion battle, he had not trained him in the art of Zion philosophy. And when Shamhuth had moved away from Elijah and Samson, he had taken to eating meat in memory of his mother, Delilah. Boy. And to the displeasure of his wife, Shamhuth had taught David to eat flesh and to hunt animals with a sling. Lo, David had become an expert with the sling, able to hit running animals in the head. When the soldiers of Saul saw how proficient David was with the sling, they said, let him do battle with the Philistine hero, Goliath. This is definitely that David. And after Goliath is reference number 2. 2 at the bottom says, Goliath is the popular English version of the Hebrew word Goliath, Golyat, which means exile. Okay, go back up. Verse 26. Lo, David had become an expert with the sling, able to hit running animals in the head. When the soldiers of Saul saw how proficient David was with the sling, they said, let him do battle with the Philistine hero, Goliath. Saul agreed, and a battle was arranged between the Philistine hero and David. Goliath was a huge man, tall and well muscled. When Goliath saw that his opponent was but a lad, He laughed, saying, "Is this a joke?" But David defeated Goliath, hitting him in the forehead with a rock from the sling. This killing made David the greatest hero amongst the Aaronites, and his popularity exceeded even that of King Saul. The king adopted David as his son, and David succeeded Saul as king of the Aaronites. That is a sad story full of intrigue and betrayal. That is a sad story full of intrigue and betrayal and will not be told here. To worldly eyes, the kingship of David seems a great success, but to Nazarene eyes, oh yeah, buddy. Now I can see after going through a lot of scriptures, reading them over and over, going through a WASB and reading other manuals and getting to know a little bit about actual cultures of people. Yeah, listen to this. I agree with him on this. Let's see. Verse 34. That is a sad story full of intrigue and betrayal and will not be told here. This right here. To worldly eyes, the kingship of David seemed a great success, but to Nazarene eyes, his reign was one of violence and misuse of power. Yea, the royal bloodline of Abraham and Sarah had now split into two lines: the line of Malchiel, which remained Nazarene and pure, and the line of David, which became Aaronite and tainted. When the ageless Sheba visited King David, she revealed unto him his Nazarene lineage and the truth about the Ark of the Covenant. She told him that the Aaronite Ark was the house of the false scripture of a false god served by a false priesthood. Or WASP goes into deep detail about this, right? I love this. Listen. When the ageless Sheba visited King David, she revealed unto him his Nazarene lineage and the truth about the Ark of the Covenant. She told him that the Aaronite Ark was the house of false scripture of a false god served by a false priesthood. Yea, and she declared that the Nazarene Ark was the house of true scripture of the true Yahweh served by the true priesthood. But King David mocked her, saying, Then I am a prophet. So hear my prophecy. Though I be born 6 times and live 6 lifetimes, I will not acknowledge my Nazarene roots. And though I be born 6 times and live 6 lifetimes, I will not shift allegiance from the Aaronite Ark to the Nazarene Ark, like is what we kind of running into with some of our Christian and Hebrew brethren and sisters, right? No, Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. And by him, we see the Father. No man can come to the Father but by him. No, my G. No man can come to the Father but by love. Like this literally broke that down. They removed love and put a man, right? And now they're worshiping a man instead of walking in love of the Creator. Like it makes sense. It makes so much sense. Okay, I know that sounds like blasphemy to somebody's ears. Okay, listen. But verse 41, page 324. But King David mocked her, saying, Then I am a prophet, so hear my prophecy. Though I be born 6 lifetimes and live 6 lifetimes, I will not acknowledge my Nazarene roots. And though I be born 6 times and live 6 lifetimes, I will not shift allegiance from the Aaronite Ark to the Nazarene Ark. With a smile, Sheba responded, Your prophecy is true. I have heard your true prophecy, now hear mine. For lo, my prophecy is equally true. For 6 lifetimes and most of a 7th, you will serve the Aaronite covenant. But in the end of your 7th lifetime, you will awaken to your Nazarene lineage. Yea, you will fall down on your knees before the Lord Christ and Lady Christ and offer them your crown. For in Alexandria, which will be a city of illumination in Egypt, you will receive the Gedolah, the great revelation. And in doing so, you will wear the crown of humility, or the cold, meaning you is going to bow your hard, thick head, right? There you go, cold, the top of the head, bowed in humility, joker. And in doing so, you will wear the crown of humility, Only then will you know the kether, right? The heavenly crown, the illuminated crown, right? Of Creator. Only then, let me go back, 49. And in doing so, you will wear the crown of humility. Only then will you know the kether, the crown of glory, which is the true glory of true kings. Wherefore, the crown of David will be reunited with the line of Abraham. And you will be the last of the Davidic kings. For once the split of the bloodline of Abraham is healed in you, the Davidic line of kings will come to an end. But when Lucifer learns of this, he will have you killed. For if he cannot have the true Davidic bloodline produce his false Messiah of the last days, then he will claim a false bloodline to be the true. Let me read that again. For if he cannot have the true Davidic bloodline produce his false Messiah of the last days, then he will claim a false bloodline to be true. But though you become a lamb and be slaughtered, you will rise as a conquering lion. For behold, at the end of your seventh lifetime, when Lucifer kills your mortal body, you will attain Sekel Nishchi. I forget what that is. It may just. Oh, it tells us in the next sentence. Let me keep reading. For behold, at the end of your seventh lifetime, when Lucifer kills your mortal body, you will attain Sekel Nitzchi. Yea, that is the immortal body that cannot die. And you will ascend unto the heavenly Alexandria, which is the sixth heaven, to be prepared for your next mission. And then you will ascend unto the seventh heaven to be embraced by Abraham and Sarah. Yea, and the kingly line of Abraham that is split at the first incarnation of David will be healed in the last incarnation of David. Wherefore Abraham will have the last laugh, and Lucifer will curse his bad luck. But lo, Lucifer knows not a certain mystery, which is this: each man makes his own luck. Verse 63, and we almost done. Just a few more verses. Verse 63, page 324. King David, perplexed by the prophecy of Sheba, ordered her to leave his kingdom. At parting, he declared, and though I be born 6 lifetimes and he's still running off at the mouth. And parting, it's like somebody trying to get the last one. She walking out the door, bro. Just be quiet. Be quiet. King David, perplexed by the prophecy of Sheba, ordered her to leave his kingdom. At parting, he declared, and though I be born 6 lifetimes and live 6 lifetimes, I would not set eyes upon you. Sheba smiled and replied, again, you speak true words of prophecy. For lo, you will not again set eyes on me until the end of your 7th lifetime. Then I will lead you to a certain place in Cush. There you will bury the Nazarene Ark of the Covenant in the womb of Cush, and it will be the seed of the last age. Behold, the Lord and Lady have seen all this, for they are the true seers, and their prophecies are the words I have spoken. And that is where we will end today. We're at 56 minutes, even though we're about at the 7:30 time marker. All right, so we'll pick this back up tomorrow with chapter 5, the story of Sheba and Solomon, right? I'm interested. I ain't going to read ahead. I'm going to wait and read it with y'all. And it's not that long. Matter of fact, this last chapter, chapter 5, is actually the end of this book, The Glory of Kings. If this was Saturday or Sunday, I just keep reading. But we're going to read this tomorrow, and then we're going to get into the prophecy of Micah on the Magdalene and the prophecy of Malachi. And I think the prophecy of Malachi is the last one. Yep, that is the last book in this section 2 of the Holy Megillah. And then we start the 3rd section, the Holy God Spell. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so good. I haven't read it yet. I mean, I skipped around reading bits and pieces to read it in its fullness. All right, y'all. So with that being said, we are out of here today. Did I give, when we started, what did I say this morning? Wait a minute, son. What did I say this morning about Creator? Did I give a word of adoration? Well, let me give the one I was supposed to give yesterday. when we end it, right? Father, we thank you that your light blazes bright within your children. I think I started it with the Creator is a blazing light, but I thank him for his blazing light that blazes bright inside of us, right? So we'll do that one. And I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful. Yeah, I'll just leave it. I'm just grateful, right? Okay. Life comes fast. And hey, look, listen, it's a lot of this stuff in this book, like some things that we've read about. What section was it? Oh, the section of all the way in the beginning, let me see. When they were talking about the great sacrifice, I think it was the great sacrifice and the great revelation, that part in there, when it was talking about how the different, even though there are going to be some who come into this world and they're in this deep sleep or whatever, but when they begin to awaken to their purpose for being here, not only will it be a great joy, but it's also going to be great pain, right? And the Creator, and I kind of understand now why. And it explained it this way here. And they say, even though there's going to be the great sacrifice and great joy, there's also going to be great pain to those who don't even deserve it, right? And even in that, the creator had to consider all of those things while formulating this world, right? And even though all of those things will happen, and things that are good, things that are bad, things that are undeserved to people who are extremely good and don't deserve certain things, it's all a part of a bigger plan. And while you're in the midst of it, it's kind of hard to see. And sometimes it's like, why do bad things always happen to good people? So it's just, I'm like, man, as I sit back and look at some things and, situations, recent findings and stuff, a lot of this stuff is just kind of like, man, I'm like, man, why does this, just thinking about this stuff. And I ain't gonna say comforted. I ain't gonna say comforted by these scriptures, but it helps me understand just a little bit more, and it's still hard while you going through it, or people walking through it, trying to help people walk through this. It's a part of life and growth. And I don't know. It's life is an interesting journey. All right, beautiful people. With that said, I agree. Even in all that, Creator is still undefeated. But yeah, right. But it really helps you see Creator. Yeah, and I can see a lot of time people, they can see once they get out of a situation and they've grown from it or been healed from it and realize how they can take that hurt and use it to help others. It's not really till then that they kind of see the purpose and what they went through earlier on, even though some people, they wouldn't choose certain lives to be a part of or certain things to happen to them. Nobody, which is why I believe we're not really shown a lot of times the things that we're going to encounter. It just happens to us and we have to react, so I think it's kind of like a safe haven. Otherwise, nobody like, nope, I don't even want to be born. Why would you? Nope, I ain't doing that. Nope, I ain't. Right? So I'm grateful for the Creator's wisdom, because as you get to the end of situations now, some people, they call themselves survivors or what have you. You're now kind of like a guiding light for those who are trapped in certain things, and help them get through and let them know, listen, there is truly light at the other end of the tunnel, at the end of the tunnel, even though the people right in the midst of it, they can't see it, so yeah. All right, y'all, that's it. I love y'all. I ain't gonna scroll through the comments. I might cry. All right, but that's it, y'all. I'll see y'all back here tomorrow, bright and early. Bruce.
But I see through you.
I'm from outer space. I got Milky Way for blood, evolution in my veins. I'm gold, I've been far away. I'm illuminated now, making more.
What did you just do to me?
I pushed your astral form out of your physical form.
What's in that tea? Psilocybin? LSD?
It's just tea. With a little honey.
What just happened?
For a moment, You entered the astral dimension.
What?
A place where the soul exists apart from the body.
Why are you doing this to me?
To show you just how much you don't know. Open your eye.
Been dreaming about flying for a long time. I had a vision from the birds, they want a cold sign.
What's happening? This isn't real, this isn't real, this isn't real, this is...
Dreaming about flying for a long time. I had a vision from the birds, they want a cold sign.
His heart rate is getting dangerously high.
He looks all right to me. You think that this particular universe is all there is?
I don't need gravity, I don't need
What mysteries lie beyond the reach of your senses? Existence, mind and matter meet. Thoughts shape reality.
I don't need gravity, I just need growth. Of this illusion, I am not really here, I'm an intrusion. I don't swim or sink, I just float.
Some benevolent and life-giving, filled with malice and hunger. Dark places where powers older than time and waiting.
I don't swim or sink, I just float.
Who are you in this vast multiverse?
I don't need gravity, I just need growth. I don't need gravity, I just need growth.
Have you seen that before in a gift shop?
I don't need gravity, I just need growth.
Teach me.
No.
It's an earthquake rumble. I won't ever ever fall, never stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho crumble.